we have the current stock market update for NIO Incorporated, stock ticker NIO. Before we begin with today's chart analysis, if you find these educational materials to be helpful in your trading, please remember to click the like and subscribe buttons and leave your thoughts in the comment section below so that other traders can find this information more easily on the platform. So with this video, we're just going to sort of be looking at the Friday close here, try to assess what actually happened to the stock this week. As we know, this has been a very, monumental, important, historic week for the stock. What we might be, visualizing here is the true turning point from those $3.60 lows. Is this now the time for this stock to finally have its day in the sun, so to speak? We will see how this chart progresses from here. But as we can see at the moment, these near-term highs are coming in at $7.70. And, this is a very tremendous game. I mean, the stock has more than doubled in value, in a very short period of time here. I mean, we're looking at really a recent price low, which came in at $3.68 during the August 28 trading session. So this is really the beginning of September here. And we're now just in the beginning of October. So, just over a month, we see a tremendous price movement here in the upward direction. And it does happen to occur right at the price levels that we were watching for quite a while now. We have been watching this $3.60 area. So, this is the real line in the sand at this point to the downside. I mean, if bears are going to take control of this stock, if short sellers are going to take control of this stock, this would be the level that they would have their sights on. More recently, what we did see here was a break above this $6 level that really did sort of ignite the fireworks. I mean, there was a lot of upside price momentum, as we can see here. We were starting to see this kind of early bounce here, but things really did start to take off in a much more dramatic fashion, a much more drastic fashion. If once the share price itself was able to break above that inflection point that we were watching, which did come in at $6 per share. So, the real question here going forward is, is this the end of the run? Are we going to continue to see share prices move higher? One question, one area that we can be watching here to sort of answer that question is just in the momentum indicator reading here. So what we're looking at on this price chart is it's the 4-hour time frame. So a bit of an intermediate time frame here. And what we can see is that there is still positive momentum that is underlying this stock. For the most part, what we have seen here is a retest of this upward trend line here on 4 separate occasions. So that's a good, strong, solid trend line here. But what we have to understand is that number one, this is a very sort of extreme slope that's in this indicator reading. So there is positive momentum here, but it's extreme. So anytime something's extreme, it starts to look unsustainable and possibly vulnerable to a reversal. We have seen 4 tests here, which does mean that this is a very strong trend line and a very strong, force of momentum here that we're seeing. A lot of force behind this momentum. But the question is, how much longer can something like this last? And, in addition to this, what we're seeing here is this 4th test here, and we're starting to see a bounce higher. So this does even suggest that we could see some additional price movement here. Wouldn't totally surprise me, but we're getting to the point within this momentum trend here where any further bounces to the top side will start to send the stock into overbought territory. So that's a bit of a red flag here. And I understand that there are a lot of people that are very excited about this. You're long the stock. You don't want to see anything negative about the stock because you want the stock to continue moving higher. But at the same time, you have to be realistic about the situation and understand that, things move in 2 directions. I mean, things don't simply move in one direction forever. I mean, it's irrational and even a bit childish to think that a stock is just going to simply move in one direction, never retrace itself, never see a pullback. So, if we're being a little bit more mature about the situation here, we do have to sort of look for entry points here or possibilities to sort of identify where share prices will start to pull back. Which levels would be a warning signal, for example. One level that we have pointed out here does come in right around $6.20. This is sort of an important Fibonacci retracement zone here. If we move down to the shorter term timeframes, we also see that there is some exponential moving average activity that comes into contact in this area as well. But for the most part, this indicator reading here is quite important because, clearly there's a lot of very strong momentum that's underlying this stock. And this reading here doesn't suggest that it's over just yet. I mean, you could absolutely see another bounce from here. But as I said, any further bounces from here will be sending the stock into overbought territory. And then you do have a very extreme slope here. And those types of slopes tend to be much easier. It's much easier to break through those as opposed to, for example, if, the trend line looked more like this, for example. I mean, that's a very stable slope in the upward direction. It's a bit longer term in nature. It's harder to break this type of slope than it is to break this type of slope. I mean, that's an extreme reading. So, it's kind of strange to me that there are so many comments about how this is just going to the moon and why are you, you're trying to spread fear about this stock. You must be a short seller, is a hedge fund paying you or whatever to say this. None of that is true, number one. And number two, this is really just common sense. I mean, things don't just move in one direction. I mean, we do understand that, right? I mean, this is fairly basic. So, these comments are pretty ridiculous, suggesting that I'm a short seller or that I have a short position or something like that. I'm actually saying that it doesn't look like this, that this momentum reading it has completed itself yet. So I'm even saying there could be some additional upside here, but how much room is there here? I mean, there isn't really much space for the stock to continue in this direction. So just to sort of close out the video here, we will quickly look at some of the shorter term timeframes just to see if there are any kind of developing signals in that part of the price chart. And when we move down to the hourly time frame, which is a very commonly watched time frame, and really what that means is that the exponential moving averages on that time frame tend to be more important, and the indicator readings on that time frame tend to be more important. So what we can see here is that this 620 level really is shaping up to be pretty important here, because we do have this 100-hour exponential moving average that is coming into direct contact with the 38.2% Fibonacci retracement zone and this old high, which would now be expected to work as support, which was generated during the September 26th trading session here. So this was a prior area of resistance that would now be expected to work as support. So, there are two scenarios that could occur here. One is we do see a retracement in the, lower in this direction here, and then we see a bounce from here, number one. There was also some other guy that told me I had too many downside arrows drawn on the chart. Give me a break, you people. Like, stop telling me what to do. Like, you're not the boss of my videos. Stop telling me I have too many down arrows in my chart, number one. Okay, and here, look, here's a positive arrow for you, commenter guy. So this would be one scenario. Share prices bounce off of this level into the upward direction, or two, you see a price break here in the downside direction, and then that starts to accelerate bearish momentum to the downside. You would probably see that 4-hour momentum reading start to break as well if that were to occur. So, if this did happen, the next level that I would be watching to the downside would be the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement, which actually rests about $1 below the 620 area. So that's a fairly, in percentage terms, that's a fairly significant move to the downside. So overall, I would be taking a cautious approach to this stock. That getting involved in all this optimism is ridiculous and it's childish, and that is exactly what caused so many people to lose money on this stock in the first place. Here's the current stock market update for NIO Incorporated, stock ticker NIO. Our high value trading strategies membership is currently available for a limited time for only $9.99 per month. These high conviction investment strategies are characterized by superior risk to reward metrics that target massive market beating returns over time. Join now to outperform the market. Lock in this special introductory rate of just $9.99 per month for the entire lifetime of your membership and start trading stocks with the pros.